Hey guys, how's it going? SoCal here. So what we're going to do a video on this here thingamajiggy. It's the RCBS Universal Case Prep System. Got it a couple weeks ago and just have kind of sat on it since then. Just gotten enough gumption to kind of get it going and start messing with it. It's pretty cool. It's got all kinds of cool features and whatnot. Let's get you over here. And you'll see on this side, we got a camphor and a deburr tool, as well as a small primer and large primer pocket scrubber. There's three other bits, so to speak. They all spin, where you can add different or additional attachments, I guess, whatever you'd say. Also, it's got a little tray for all the different caliber bits that, or the guide bits that go in the front of the trimmer. And we go over this way and pan out a little bit. Whoa, the other way. Basically, what we have here is a sled that rides back and forth for your adjustment. And when you get the proper adjustment, you lock it down and then push down on this handle, and it gives you just a little gap in here, and that you set the case in there. Let me see if I can show you that. That little gap right here, that's where the case goes. Kind of sits in that little bite of that clamp. So anyway, let me show you how this thing works. I had a little bit of problem with it before, I will say. Let me show you the other side of this guy. On this side, right here, you can see this piece of metal and then this switch right here. Well, when I got it, the switch is activated by this piece of metal here, this part here. I can get a pen. Here, this piece of metal, when you push down on the handle, it's supposed to turn that switch off. So when you're running the machine and you go to change your cartridge, you go like that, and it turns the machine off, and you go back forward. Well, the problem was that this thing was kind of out of alignment. Wasn't finished with assembly. I don't know if they do that intentionally or what, but this piece of metal was very loose and the switch wasn't being activated. So I moved this thing up. There's two nuts, or not nuts, but bolts underneath, one here and one here. I moved it up, and then also I had to bend this little piece of metal up just a little bit in order for this to really contact it where it should. That being said, that was really the only difficulty I had with it. So let me get this thing spun back around. And as you can see, I don't have it mounted, screwed to my bench. I kind of didn't want to drill holes on this specific bench. So I just have it on one of those little sticky, like non-slip kitchen things, and it seems to do pretty well for my intentions. So it's not the most sturdy, but it's not going to fly around on anyway. So if worst comes to worst, I can put my hand here and keep it from flying all over the place. So anyway, let me show you how to dial this in, at least the way I've got it dialed in. First thing you want to do, you have a micrometer here. I'm going to turn that to 0. And there's a little line. You'll have to trust me on this because I can see it and you probably cannot. But let me get you in a little bit tighter. So there's two ways you can go about getting this thing up. The first thing you can do is use a piece of brass that you already know is exactly where you want it. And if you have that, all you do is just put the piece of brass in here and run it forward so that gap closes up. So you saw there was a gap right here. You're probably not, see how you can get a gap going? You don't want that gap there. You run it all the way forward so that gap closes and the end of the neck contacts the blade. All you have to do beyond that, just tighten the bolts, you're good to go. You've used your perfectly sized brass as your guide. What if you don't have a perfectly sized piece of brass? Well, this is what you do. You take this one's long. What you want to do is, let's see, we measure this guy, find out how long it is. So this is 9.5 thousandths too long. It should be about 1.76 inches. So what we do, we have our micrometer set at 0 here. What we're going to do is place, now let's mess it up. All right. We'll place our brass in here. That's kind of tough. All right, so we got our brass in there. We're just going to run it forward all the way, lock it in. All right, we're going to measure, or pardon, we're going to just flip the machine on and let it run for a second, just to, all right, we're going to cut it off. And we're going to measure this again, just to make sure we know where we're at. All right, so we're still at 1.7695. That means we need to come forward about 9.5 thousandths. So we're going to run it in the machine. Our micrometer here, we're going to turn on the machine and just slowly adjust that micrometer so we count up to about 10 or 9 or 10, somewhere around there. And you see the filings kind of coming out. There's 8, 9.5. We'll see how exact that micrometer is. All right, so the shavings have ceased. And let's just pull this thing out. And it's going to be a little rough. That's why they added the camphor and deburring tool, but let's see what we got. There you go. We did it exactly 9. Spin this guy a little bit. Yeah, it's not perfectly even, but tell you what, we'll run it through our camphor and deburring tool over here. Deburr, chamfer, however you like to say it. Nice and pretty, nice and smooth. Stick it in our case gauge. Looks absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. I know you guys can't see it, but it's right between too tall and too short. It's right where you want it. And that's about as easy as it gets. You just also want to come back. You're happy with your settings, just lock that thing in. That's the way it works. And then from there on out, you just, this would be basically how you'd work it. Put in your brass, let it go forward, trim it up, pull it out, put the next piece of brass in, then take the one you just finished, deburr it, chamfer, pull the next one, just repeat as necessary. Another thing I forgot to mention was the deburring tool. So show you one of these nasty cases that we got. You can see all the gook and nasty in there. It goes pretty quick. That's it, that fast. Pretty cool. And a couple others, really gross. I mean, I just decapped these. You can see just like literally 1 second on there. It scrubs them out pretty good. In fact, if you do it too long, it'll start eating at the brass, so you don't need to push that hard at all either. All right, just thought I'd throw that out there too. All right, well, that's about it, guys. I hope this found you useful and you get some knowledge out of this or some mileage or whatever. There wasn't many of these videos on the internet. Actually, I haven't found one, so this is how to set it up. Thanks for watching. If you guys got any questions, throw them down in the comment box. Thanks for watching. Take it easy, guys. Happy New Year.